Hi class, we're going to start our first lab. I already did a video to set up ACE-IT labs, and that's going to be our network setup that we're going to use for the rest of the semester. So basically I want to show you how to design a network. So I'm going to go to the final skills exam. I have this document in PDF format and also as a web page. So what we're going to do is design this network. 4 subnets separated by 3 routers, and all 3 are connected to the internet by this one interface coming off of R1. R1 stands for router 1, router 2, router 3. This is going to be the document that you have to fill out at the very end of the class for your final skills exam, but I'm just going to use this to kind of design the network and show you an image of what network we're trying to create. So the first thing we need to do when we design a network is to do our subnetting. So this video is going to be about creating the subnets we're going to use on this network. So we're going to create 16 subnets, but we're only going to use the first 4. That will give us room to grow if we add more networks onto our more subnets onto our network later. So we're creating 16 subnets, but we're only going to be using 4. Subnet 0, Subnet 1, Subnet 2, and Subnet 3. So what we're going to do is do our subnetting, get our subnet address, the first usable and the last usable in the broadcast. Just to save some time, I typed it all out so you don't have to listen to me type while I'm recording. So we're taking a classful network address 172.16.0.0/16, and we're going to create 16 subnets. We're going to list all 16 subnet addresses, the range of usable IPs, and the broadcast addresses. So how many bits do we need to borrow to create 16 subnets? We're going to borrow 4 bits. 2 to the 4 equals 16. 16 subnets. What's our new subnet mask? We have 16 original network bits right here, plus the 4 were borrowed, so we're going to have 20 network bits. 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then I just pad the rest with zeros. So if I convert this into binary, into decimal, it'll be 255.255. This will be 128 plus 64, which is 192. Plus 128 plus 64 is 192, plus 32 will be 224, plus 16 will be 240.0. So it'll be 255.255.240.0. The next question we need to ask ourselves is, what octet is the last borrowed bit in? 1, 2, 3. It's in the 3rd octet. We're going to ask ourselves next, what's the value of that bit? It's 16. So what we're going to do is we're going to increment by 16s in the 3rd octet. So the first subnet is 172.16.0.0. The next one is 172.16.0. 172.16.16.0. The next one is 172.16.32.0. Then 48.0. 64.0, 80.0, 96.0, 112.0, 128.0, 144.0, 160.0, 176.0, 192.0, 208.0, 224.0, and 240.0. Then I went through and I listed the range of usable IPs for each subnet. This is the subnet address. We can't use that on an actual device. This is the broadcast address that we use to communicate with all devices on the network, so we can't assign that to a device. So these are the IP addresses that we're going to use in every subnet. And we're only using the first 4 subnets. So if we go back to our diagram, guys, here is the PDF version of the diagram. So when you complete the subnet, when you complete the final skills test, you'll list all of your subnets there. Let me pause the video. Okay, class. So we're only going to use the first 4 subnets. This is the range of the first subnet, 172.16.0.1 to 172.16.15.254. Now, if we look at this diagram, and this is just a PDF of that web page that I was showing you before. So this is subnet 0. So you're going to list the subnet 0 here, and you're going to list the IP that we're going to assign to this interface, which will be 172.16.0.1. That's the first IP in this network. And if we go to the second subnet, which is subnet 1, we're going to be using 2 IPs, one for this router interface and one for this router interface. So we could use any 2 IPs from this subnet. I've decided that we're going to use the first and the last. So this IP will be 172.16.16.1, and this IP will be 172.16.31.254. And then we move on to the next subnet. We have this range of usable IPs, and we're going to use the first one here and the last one here, because this IP and this IP are on the same subnet. So this will be 172.16.32.1 through 172.16.47.254. That's the last IP in that subnet. Then for subnet 3, which is the 4th subnet, we only need one IP, 172.16. What subnet was that? 48.1. So that'll be 48.1. And you're also going to list all your subnet IDs down here at the bottom. 172.16.0.0/20, 172.16.16.0/20, and so on. So our next stage will be to take all those IPs that we've assigned to all these interfaces. We're going to connect to ACE-IT and configure those IPs on the actual machine. We're also going to rename all the routers. So this one will be called R1, this one will be called R2, and this one will be called R3. So the next video will be getting on ACE-IT and configuring all those IP addresses and assigning the host names. So I'm going to stop the video for now and upload this to YouTube.